Hi everybody, this is Dale. Welcome to my channel, Not Too Shabby Chic. This is hashtag Friendship Friday. Yay! And I have had a couple people join along, and I will link their channels below. You've got Nat Williams, who joined and has a video she posted today. And then earlier in the week, Linnie P's Place posted a hashtag Friendship Friday video. So I will link both of their channels below. So today, my Friendship Friday person of the week, if you will, is Tanya Ferguson with Scribbles in Time. She is an amazing creator and artist. If you've never seen her journals, you need to check her channel out. I will link her channel below as well. Her journals go very fast. They're different than anything I've ever seen, and they're beautiful. She only uses, for the most part, vintage and antique items in them. She recently bought a lot of 1800s photo albums from me to use for covers. She's made several journals using those as covers and selling them, and they are amazing. So please check out her channel. And I am sending her a few things from that estate sale where I got some things I wanted to share, and I knew she could use them because some of it's pretty grungy, and she, like me, loves grungy. So without further ado, let's see what she's going to get. First, I have this strip of muslin that was stamped. I got from the Hopeful Bird, and it says Hope, Grit, and Hope. I love this. I have several of these. I love getting stuff from the Hopeful Bird. They are amazing. So check them out as well. And this was wrapped around, so I know Tanya will be able to use that. This is just an old book sheet that says notes, and I thought, she'll like that. Only Tanya probably would like a stick. This is not just any stick. It came out of a picture scrapbook album that was on the spine, and I'm not sure what kind of stick it is, but I know Tanya will be able to use it, and I've got one for myself as well. I've got 3 of these craft envelopes that are large, that can look very old, and I love using those. I have 2 shank button dangles that I made. These are all vintage buttons on them. She can use them as is. There's a little loop right here where you can hang it off of a bulb pin and let it dangle from your journal. I forgot I had these. I'm in the process of cleaning my room and found a little thing full where I had done some of these. So I'm sending her a couple of these because again, Tanya, if you don't want to hang them and they're too bulky to hang from your journals, then feel free to take them apart and use the gorgeous buttons that are on them. I've included a letter from 1945, and it's got the stamps in the original envelope, and it was Milton, Tennessee, before you had to put an address. You just put their name and the town. As you can see, the paper is really brown, and it says, "Dear Aunt Belle." So they're writing to their aunt, and just wrote on a couple pages. Love the paper because it's old, from 1945, and the envelope, of course, is old. So I know Tanya will like this. I hope she'll like it. I've got these vintage envelopes. There's several of them. Love the flowers that are on there, and they peek over to the front side. So I've got 3, 4, 5 of those, and a vellum envelope or something. I'm not sure what this was. It looks like it's coming apart, but I know Tanya will figure out how to use it. This is a roll of vintage accounting tape that you used to put in your calculator or adding machine, and this is great to use in like a typewriter and font on it. and it's really old, so she'll have to figure out how to do that. Then I've got these that I had cut up. They were these folders that were larger, but you could have this as a pocket and grunge it up a little bit. There's a couple of those. I have these just bits and pieces that Tanya saves every little piece. So these are very old vintage little bits and pieces that I had from my stash. This was a vintage card of sorts. This was a calling card, and part of it's gone. Here was Jesus, Trust in You. And this was a blessing card, I think, from the Chaplet of Divine Mercy. Here are a couple old cards for spelling or definitions. And then this is D for Dog. Excuse me. This is an old baseball card. Not sure if she could use it, but thought she might. It's just an old piece of paper. See, isn't that cool? And on this side, it's a death notice, so she can make that into whatever she wants. This is just an old piece of something, something. A couple old pictures. I'm not even sure what this is. It's interesting. It looks like the negative stuff, and this is a beautiful picture of a young girl, young woman. Looks like she's from the 1890s. Some old receipts that I have in my stash. This still has the old carbon on it. Another of those. This is a piece from my stash that is from vintage cards. And I know Tanya will like that. This is an old envelope that got stitched. I probably did it, but it's vintage, very old and crumbly. Just there's someone's handwriting, little pieces, which I love, and I know she'll love that. A happy wedding in that locality, Neltyville. This is a vintage junior coin collector sticker. And then these are just old pieces of newspaper articles that I'm sure she'll like to use. This is a 1954 senior class graduation announcement. This is just an envelope from DuPont. It's old. I just don't know how old because that end's torn off. Here is just to meet somebody. Maybe it's their Mr. and Mrs. Joseph Martin requests the honor of your presence to meet Mr. and Mrs. Clarence Marvin Martin on Friday, October 6th from 8 until 12 o'clock, College Street. Maybe they just got married. I'm not sure exactly what this is, but I do know it is old. It's an old envelope with a picture printed of two girls. They look like twins. This is a faded cabinet card of a young man. And it's got the pretty photographer advertisement on the back. This is from 1948, a canceled check. $8,250 was a lot of money back then. These are vintage bingo cards, one of each kind. And this is an old photo of an adorable little girl that I thought she might like to use. Then, not my cough drops. I have this spool I got somewhere, and it's wrapped with jute, but thought she could use that. This is from the 1800s. Looks like somebody tried to paint on the back of it the picture of this little boy, but I just love the way that looks. This is glass. So I know Tanya will make good use of that. This is tin, like a tin type, but it's got some kind of enamel coating. It's really faded, of a woman and 2 children. It's pretty cool. So I know she could use that. This I got from one of my friends, and it's a macrame Christmas tree. I thought it would be sweet. And then I have some of these vintage Dewey Decimal System index cards from the library. Got several of those for her. Here's another letter. This was from, no, that's not a letter. Sorry. And that's a piece of paper. So there's some more of those. This is an old, from the 1800s, it looks like. A cabinet card, maybe. And it's kind of faded and dirty, and part of it's been cut off. Put in there. And I've got this box, as you can see, full of old photos and things. And I'm not going to show all of them because it'll take a really long time. But I'll just show you a few. Somebody's house when it snowed, just a piece of cardboard paper she'll like. These are super old, vintage, that's of a woman and a little baby, negatives. Man holding baby. So there's a lot of those. This is an old tin type that is peeling off of a man. Thought she would like that. And this is another tin type. These are more negatives. And there's a tin type. I sell those in my Etsy shop. These are some that are scratched or kind of, couldn't really sell. Just some old vintage photos. I like the yellow looking one. There's an old car. A little girl. See if I can find, she looks like a majorette. It's an old house. It's more of the snow. Whoa, I'm dropping them in the floor. Just lots of cool old photos that I was sharing. I love those, like an old mill at the river, the lake or something. Look at Grandma and Grandpa. Believe me, and this is just a beautiful piece of scenery. Look at that, foothills. That is gorgeous. Cabin. Standing on a giant stump. So, lots and lots of old photos and more negatives. I had tons of those. Some of these range from the 1890s to the 1950s. Try to see if I see a few interesting ones to show you. This one's cool. This is a woman on a camel with the Sphinx over in Egypt. Somebody went on vacation. These are some guys camped out. I don't know if this is during the war. I'm thinking it was. Baby biting his feet. This is just a mat that I thought she could use. This is an old card, vintage card from someone celebrating their golden anniversary, their 50th wedding anniversary. I thought that was a beautiful card. From the war, I'm not sure which war. 1927. A little cabinet card. More grungy of those. It's a pretty portrait. I love that, the horse and the carriage. Some things I forgot to take out. The cabinet card is really dark, but she'll like to use it, I'm sure. Piece of that black with these little, these remind me of little Tim Holtz photo booth pictures. I thought she could use. I kept some for me. Some grandma and grandpa under the tree. Just a piece off of one of the old photo albums. This is a 10 type, but it's so dark you can't really tell what it is. This was a 10 type, and it's cracked. The glass is cracked, but that's the little case. And then this had a big one in it at some point, and it's just the case. Just a piece of cardboard. This is another 10 type that's super dark, and I can't, that one's not supposed to be there. Let's see. I know this is getting boring. This is another, just a photo. It's really dark. This is another from that same wedding anniversary, 50th wedding anniversary. I had several of the same cards, pieces out of an old magazine. It says Occident. It's an old cabinet card. And this is a 10 that's a lot of dark and stuff around it. And it had $16 on the back, but I did not quite pay that much for it. But that's what I guess it would have sold for. And it's a school class of 1927 fifth graders. Cute little old picture of two little girls. And old car pictures. These grungy. I know she'll like grungy. And I love this picture of that man. Look at that little kid sitting on top of that house. And look how low the window is to the ground. It's just a strange picture to me. Old house, an old vintage photo there. There's a postcard. More school children, postcard. A little boy. These are guys on horses. 1904. So, woman. This is an old postcard about Virginia. Some of those like Tim Holtz photo booth things. This is a guy and a gal. Man and his horse. Tall, skinny, sort of cabinet card. Other old photos. And this is just old paper. Little baby with the hat bigger than her. Some of these are really cute. So Tanya, I hope that you can use these. And that's sweet. In your journals. I love this one, like an old general store, and there's a horse and buggy out front and there. Some old workers. More old papers. This was a partial picture of an old football team, I think. Donkeys. She looks mean. Postcard. little girl. Sweet little house. My pile's falling over. But you guys get the gist. Look at that one. So hopefully she will be able to use these. Look at that baby. And these are some old tins that you can't hardly see what they are. I wouldn't be able to sell them. They were $20 at the yard sale, but I didn't pay that. And Tanya has just an amazing gift for doing vintage and really old. So these are some things I thought she could use. Unlike some of the other stuff I sometimes send out to my other friends, she wouldn't use most of that kind of stuff, I don't think. So I try to just send, because I've got so much of these old photos that she could use. So I'll be sending more out to some other folks on following Friendship Fridays. So you guys stay tuned and come back, and I hope more people will participate. And I will link your channels on my description box as you do, because we need to spread love and encouragement to one another and to others, because there's not enough of that going around, and I think it's important. I like to be encouraged and have positive things, and who doesn't like gifts? So it doesn't have to be a lot. It can be one thing. I mean, or you can share what someone gave you, which I've also done. Either way, it's still hashtag Friendship Friday. Open collaboration for anyone to please join and show some love to your fellow crafters. Promote their channels. If you don't really have anything to give or the money to send stuff out, you can just promote their channel and say your thoughts about their channel or about them as a person, and run a little contest, or just talk about how wonderful they are. I mean, that's all it takes. You don't have to send out something. That's just what I'm doing. So know you are loved. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.